This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
More with UNI head basketball coach Ben Jacobson. Coach, after basketball games, you talk a lot about rebounding and defense wanting to improve. What's maybe the greatest need you want to see out of this team to move in a positive direction?
Well, there isn't any question. It's those two things, and within those, our ability to get stops when we need them. Late against North Dakota, they were getting baskets, and they've got to be able to find some stops. So you give yourself a chance to, if you are tied, you can get a lead. If you are ahead by a possession or two, you can extend that as the game gets later. So we've got to find a better will about us to find stops when we have to have them. And then in rebounding, we're going to have to get something squared away. We don't get enough. We simply don't get enough rebounds, and so some guys are going to have to block out better. Some guys are going to have to go get the basketball for us. We've got to find the right combination of that, because that part of it, if that doesn't change, then every game is going to be hard. And the games, with Iowa, North Carolina, and then we get into conference play. The 20 games that we have left on our schedule before the conference tournament, they're going to be hard anyway. And there's no magic wand, and there's no two ways about it. This isn't something that you can kind of set aside and say, well, okay, if we do it, then it'll be a little easier. If we don't, we'll still be fine. If we don't do it, it's not going to be fine in terms of the results. And our guys, they're competitive, and our job is to put a team out there that gives themselves the best chance when we play games. So we've got to change that.
The defense is turning the ball over. You have a very good turnover margin. The guy's not turning the ball over too much. Juwan McLeod, a true freshman, handling the basketball. What do you like what you've seen out of him through the first 9 games?
Well, he had a good week last week, and he didn't play. I know he didn't play much in the second half against North Dakota, but against South Dakota State, that was the most comfortable that he had looked, and his confidence is coming. And that's a hard position to play for a true freshman. And he's had some moments where he's been great, and he's had some times where he's done some things that he knows that he needs to kind of remove from his game in some ways. Offensively, he's got an ability to get to the basket. He's got the ability to make plays for us, and now it's making the right reads when he gets there, and that has improved a ton since we started practice. So he's on a really good track. He's a really good three-point shooter, and he's hasn't shot a very good percentage, and now he's not taking very many, and we got to get him back to taking 1 or 2 a game and feeling good about it, and gaining some confidence in that part of his game, because he's a good shooter. So we'll keep working at that with him, but really like what he's doing for the most part.
And he'll take his game down to Des Moines. The Panthers had a couple of days off during finals week this past week, but a big game against the Iowa Hawkeyes, and they're coming off a really good win against the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah, and that's I've watched 3 or 4 of their games, and the game against Iowa State is the best that I had seen them play, and they played well against Notre Dame on the road. They obviously played well in their home game prior to, I believe it was the game right before Iowa State. And they had a tough one against Nebraska-Omaha, somewhere in that mix. But, part of they've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores as well. So when we're at practice and we're on the game floor, and then watching their film, I can see some of the same things, just in terms of wanting to get everybody onto the same page. You want to defend at a high level. You want to rebound at a high level. But I think they played their best game against Iowa State.
All right, should be a fun one in Des Moines this Saturday. UNI against Iowa. We'll have more with Coach Jake coming up after this. Right now, an update on the UNI women's indoor track and field program.